Here we have Chicago and Navy Pier, and we need a booming nightclub on Navy Pier. Wouldn't that be awesome? And even in the wintertime, it's still out on the lake. It's indoor, but it would be awesome. They have a hotel now. They just need a very hot nightclub. And remember, the nightclub in that is a place that really isn't a nightclub until after 10 or 11 o'clock, and then it turns into a nightclub. So, and that brings the late night crowd to 4 and 5 in the morning on Navy Pier. And you don't have to worry about noise audiences, and the hotels should have soundproofing, but it's right there on the lake at the end of Navy Pier. And so you can see the shoreline cruises here, and they should do, architectural cruises on the lake as well. But again, Navy Pier, and they need a really hot nightclub to drive late night business. Truly. And wouldn't it be cool? Show me, like, Atlantic City. They have nightclubs and they let it run into a dump, but it is a pier. Atlantic City is a pier. And I'll make a comparison, but again, it could have high-end nightlife. Truly. Wouldn't it be great if it had high-end nightlife on the pier? And let's see if it's open. So let's go down to the end of the pier. But so I enjoyed working on Navy Pier. This is the backside, but again, they should make it, much more inviting. Now they have these boat piers on this area. And like I said, the backside can be where the water taxi drops you off. Here, on this side, water taxi drops you off right here. Here's the ramp and everything right here. There's the entrance and there's a ramp, and the water taxi drops you off right here at this place. And the water taxi can run all year round. And they can use hovercrafts on Lake Michigan. And the fans don't have to make a lot of sound. You know that? Those helicopters that have the, quiet blades. It's the same thing with the fans on the hovercraft. So take the helicopter, what they're doing with the blades and acquiring all the sounds, and then put it into the hovercraft and the fan from the hovercraft. And you can quiet it with sound installation and everything, and the hovercraft can be incredibly silent. Instead of having that big noise, make a silent hovercraft and it will be even more received. So again, the regular water taxi drops you off here, and then they use the hovercraft to go down the lake. Why? Because it runs above the waves, so it doesn't get that. Lake Michigan has short, choppy waves, not high waves. So the wave height is very low in Lake Michigan compared to others, and it's more frequent. It's very choppy water, but the waves are very small. And so hovercrafts work perfectly on Lake Michigan to rise above the small choppy waves, and so they can have a smooth ride back and forth down the lake because the waves aren't high. So I'll put this on my Tumblr, but you have to understand this. And So you can pick up the hovercraft, and the hovercraft can take you down to Waukegan and drop you off at the pier in Waukegan. And then if you want, you can pick up another hovercraft from there and go further down the Lake Michigan to somewhere in Wisconsin. But I'll show you Navy Pier and do a comparison to Atlantic City. So let's see. It says do not enter. That's the back side. So anyways, here's the Crystal Gardens. And you can really turn this into a nightclub type thing. And right here at the end of the pier, a hot nightclub. And it would be awesome all year round. And people enter the pier from the inside and walk up, so you don't have to worry about cold weather or anything else. And then you have it backside of the city. So again, and this makes for you're on your boats and that. Think about being here and the view you get by your boats. See, I'll show you all the boat docks. I'll raise this up. But you have all these boat docks that are on the back side of the pier. And this actually has an incredible view. And me with my Jesus gear, my hat with the cross. Hello. Here, look at the view you're getting. So you're boat docking here and you're getting an incredible view. So having boats and yachts come up here to Navy Pier and dock at the pier would only make sense